Good afternoon, class. The last class I've explained about the Mauryan Empire, so today I'll be starting with the new chapter. Chapter 5, the Sangam age, page number is 166, and these are the topics which I'm going to discuss with you today. So before I start with the first topic, let's have a quick introduction of this chapter. The Deccan and the southern part of India, the Deccan and the southern part of the India were the oldest part of the Indian subcontinent. So they lie to the south to the Vindhya mountain and form the peninsular region of India. In ancient India, the region was also known as Dakshinapata. The Deccan plateau lie between the river Narmada to the south and Tungabhadra and Krishna to the Narmada to the north and river Tungabhadra and Krishna to the south. So this region was basically during the time this region was ruled by the Satavahanas, who built the famous cave temple of stupas of Amravati and Nagarjuna and later the Marathas. So it is believed, it is said that the Satavahanas built the temples and stupas of Amravati and Nagarjuna and later the Marathas. The Tamil region comprised the territory to the south of the river Krishna and Tungabhadra and extend up to the river Kanyakumari. The three kingdoms of the Cheras, Cholas and Pandyas ruled this region. The entire region was inhabited by the Dravidian origin. So the Tamil is the oldest surviving language of the Dravidian. The Sangam age flourished for a period for more than 150 years, and the literary work produced during the period give us the vivid account of the life and people of South Indian in ancient times. So the first topic is, who were the Dravidians? The term Dravidian was first used first time by Robert Gladwell in his book Dravidian Grammar. The Dravidian refers to the various group of people who natively speak language belonging to the Dravidian language family. They found in South India and include the modern state of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala and Karnataka. Smaller Dravidian communities includes the Gond, Taluvas and Brahoi. So not only in the modern state of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala and Karnataka, smaller Dravidian communities also includes Gond, Taluvas and Brahoi. Nothing definite is known about there was no definite account for the ancient homeland of the Dravidians, so they were believed to have been widespread through India, including the northwestern. They are not only found in the southern part, but they are also found in the northwestern region. According to theory, these Dravidians people were pushed to South India as a result of Anglo-Aryan migration in southern India. Next is contact between northern and southern India. In ancient time, the contact between the Aryans in the north and the Dravidians in the south occurred through the sect Agastya. Agastya was the first Vedic sect in India. It is first sect to introduce Aryan custom and tradition in South India. He was followed by many Brahmin preachers who spread the Aryan culture among the Dravidian in the south. So in ancient India, contact between the Aryans in the north and the Dravidians in the south occurred through sect Agastya. This Agastya was the first Vedic sect who introduced Aryan custom and tradition in South India. He was followed by many Brahmin preachers who spread the Aryan culture among the Dravidians in the south in the 6th century and the 7th century BCE. The Andhra kingdom, situated in the valley of river Godavari, came under influence of Aryan culture. During the Mauryan period, many Buddhist and Jain missionaries traveled to South India. We find numerous references to the Pandya kingdom in the account of Megasthenes, the Greek ambassador of Chandragupta Maurya. The Tamil poet were familiar with Pataliputra, capital of Mauryan Empire, the river Ganga and so on mentioned in that Sangam text. So the Andhra kingdom, situated in the river valley of Godavari, came under influence of Aryan culture. So During the Mauryan period, many Buddhist and Jain missionaries traveled to South India. We find numerous references to Pandya kingdom to the south of Megasthenes. The Greek ambassador to Chandragupta Maurya, the Tamil poets were familiar with Pataliputra, the capital of the Mauryan Empire. In his text, the river Ganga and Son were mentioned. The Aryan culture is made up of deep impact of the people in South. Sanskrit became popular and Dravidian scholars studied the Vedic literature Puranas of the Aryans. Kings performed sacrifices and Rajasuya, Yachanas, Jain and Buddhist institution flourished in Tamil Nadu. So the Aryan culture made up of Aryan culture made a deep impact on the people of the South India. Sanskrit became popular and Dravidian scholars studied the literature Puranas of the Aryans. Kings performed sacrifices and Rajasuyas, Yachanas, and Jain and Buddhist institutions flourished in Tamil Nadu, and people even visited Buddhist center. The Brahminical culture of the Aryans mingled with the customs and rituals of the Dravidian. They preserved distinguished features of the Dravidian culture and upheld the richness of the Dravidian language. Next topic is sources to reconstruct the Sangam age. Under sources to reconstruct the Sangam age, there are many. There are some subtopics, so I'll be explaining one by one. The first, the source to reconstruct the Sangam age divided into two. The sources can be divided into two: archaeological and literary. First is archaeological inscription. The Tamil had learned the art of writing on rocks and rocks before the beginning of the Christian era. Short Tamil inscription in Brahmi script dating from 1st century BCE to 3rd century CE have been found engraved in. It is found in several rocks and caves in the southern districts of Tamil Nadu. They show the Tamil language in as early stage of development. It is derived from Sanskrit. In fact, Dravidian language like Kannada, Malayalam, Telugu borrow heavily from Sanskrit. The next is Ashokan inscription. Ashokan rock edict found in Mysore, Raichur and Kurnool show the extent of the Mauryan Empire in the south. Ashokan rock edict to speak the three kingdoms in the south, the Cheras, Cholas and Pandyas as neighboring country. So this Ashokan rock edict found in Mysore, Raichur and Kurnool show the extent of the Mauryan Empire, and Kurnool show the extent of the Mauryan Empire in the south. Ashokan rock edict to speak the three kingdoms of the south, the Cheras, Cholas and the Pandyas as their neighboring country. The Hathigumpa inscription of Karavela ruler of Kalinga stated, he destroyed a confederacy. As he destroyed a confederacy, Tamil state Tramiradesa Sangatam. It's also stated Karavela brought pearls, jewels, rubies, horses and elephant from the Pandyas kingdom to Kalinga. The next is megalith. A megalith is a stone used to build monuments with or without other stone. It is derived from the Greek word mega, great, and lithos stone. In ancient time, megaliths were used to. In ancient time, it is believed that they were used to make banks, ditches, and boundaries and territories of a territories. But megaliths were mostly used in the form of burial. The period between 1000 BCE to the earliest century of the Christian era is known as megalith culture. Megaliths have been found in Andhra Pradesh, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. In megalith burial, dead bodies were exposed till only the bones were left behind. After that, the bones were collected and put in a urns and placed in the grave, which is also known as pit or kiss. The grave, again this grave were encircled with megalith or large stone. Megalith not only contain the skeleton but the iron tools, rice and religion symbols. They show the reconstruct of Sangam age is in the following ways. The presence of iron showed that the transition from copper age to bronze age to the iron stage in South India. Number B, even the presence of rice show that the agriculture economy was based in South India during the Sangam age. Pottery was well developed, as urns were the example of pottery. Pottery was well developed and important occupation during the Sangam age. Number D, iron tradition show that Murugan and Shiva were the popular gods. Number E, the human skeleton enable us to study racial composition of the people. Next is literary work. The literary sources of Sangam age includes the following texts. Sangam literature. The word Sangam means assembly. According to an ancient literary work, three Sangams or an assembly of Tamils were held in Madurai. So, according to the ancient literature, three Sangam were held in Madurai under the patronage of Pandya's king. It is generally accepted three Sangam lasted for 1st century BCE to 50th century BCE. Around 8598 poets and scholars participated in the assembly and produced a large volume of outstanding Tamil poetry. These literary works were compiled into books called the Sangam literature. There are three Sangam. The first Sangam was held in Madurai under Sheikh Agastya and Sheikh Agastya was the founder president. Paripadal, Akatiyam and Mudunarai are some of the important work of first Sangam. Second Sangam. The second Sangam was founded by Sheikh Agastya. It was held in Kapatapuram. It was patronized by 89 Pandyan kings and lasted for 3,700 years. Tolkapiyam was written by Tolkapiyar, a disciple of Agastya, and which also later known as Tamil grammar. This Tolkapiyar was later known as Tamil grammar. It was written during the second Sangam. The third Sangam was held in the present city of Madurai for 1,850 years. The literary work of the third Sangam constitute the most of the literary work of the third Sangam were the most important part of the Sangam literature, or the main source of information on the early history and Tamil. The important works produced during the third Sangam include the famous poet Kuru. Here is the picture of Kuruvaluvar. Kuruvaluvar wrote Trikural, which consists of 1,360 couplets dealing with Porul Artha, Inbam Kama and Aram Dharma. So, it is the sacred book of Tamils and had been transmitted in many Indian and foreign languages. Second point is Silapa Dikaram, Mani Mekalai and Jivaka Chintamani, also known as Jivaka Chintamani. These were the three epics of Tamil literature were produced during the third Sangam. Silapatikaman, a literary masterpiece, deal with Kovalam love for the Courtesan called Madhavi. Mani Mekalai described the adventures of the daughter born to Madhavi and Kovalam. Third is Sangam literature help us to construct history for the Chola and Pandyan ruler as well as the socio-economic condition of India. Socio-economic condition of South India. So the Sangam literature helped to us to reconstruct this third Sangam literature. In the third Sangam, the Sangam literature helped us to construct history of the Chola kingdom and the Pandya ruler as well as the socio-economic condition of South India. In the next class, I'll be discussing about the economic life during the Sangam age and some other subtopics. That's all for today. Thank you.